In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Today, Tom is on location in Bend, Oregon at the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun Invitational, where competitors shoot in the high desert, in the dark. Tom talks with top shooters and makers of guns, ammo, optics, holsters, and who knows what else. Settle back for the latest in cool gear for gunners on Gun Talk. Now here's Tom.
All righty, we are actually out in Oregon. We're just outside of Bend, Oregon. I came out here for the incredible Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun. Yes, if you're just going to be really crazy, let's just take a whole bunch of people with a lot of guns and go out in the dark in the desert and shoot them. That makes perfect sense. I'm joined by Kent Thomas from Crimson Trace. What the heck were you thinking when you did this?
Pretty dumb idea, huh?
Yeah, except that you're booked up full and you got people all over the place. Tell you what, before we get into that, let me just tell people we are doing this show, Truth in Advertising here. We are actually doing this show on a Saturday. You're hearing it on Sunday or sometime later. We're going to have a complete list of people dropping in on us, shooters, people from manufacturers, other people. I don't know who's going to wander in. You never know. The door's open. Who knows? So we'll have a lot of that. I also am going to have some news about the Shanine Allen affair where this is the Pennsylvania lady, the mother of two who got arrested in New Jersey. She had a carry permit. They put her in jail for 40 days. Now the district attorney wants to send her to prison for 3.5 to 10 years. I talked about this billboard idea. Well, we pulled it off, and in just a minute I'll have the information on that where you can get involved. You can make a donation to put some billboards up around Atlantic City. We'll make that happen. But right now we're talking about this Midnight 3-Gun. All right, it's a 3-gun, shotguns, rifles, handguns. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yep.
And we're not in Bend, Oregon. We're far, far away from Bend. We're 24 miles out of town where it is so dark. Mm-hmm. It is unbelievable. Why? Why'd you do this?
Sometimes, especially at about 2:30 this morning, I asked myself that very question.
No doubt. And this was an early morning for you. I mean, you got back early at 2:30. Yeah.
I left, quote, early, unquote, at 2 o'clock. Why did we do it? About 4 years ago, I kind of challenged myself to figure out a way to get the media and to get some of the country's top shooters or sort of potential apostles for laser sighting systems and Crimson Trace out to the Pacific Northwest. Most people don't realize, everybody knows about Gun Valley and knows about the East Coast, right, and where most of the guns are manufactured in this country, but most people don't realize some of the top brands in our industry are out here in the Pacific Northwest, whether it be Leupold, Warren Scope Mounts, even folks like Benchmade, Leatherman, Dan
right,
Good Company, all that
right,
good stuff. So we're very proud Pacific Northwesterners, and we wanted to bring people out and show off where we live. But more importantly, I wanted to figure out a way to really show people the benefits of laser sighting systems. It's only really been within the last 7, 8, 9 years that people have kind of gotten over the hump that a laser is a gimmick or a toy.
Right.
So what better way than to bring the media out and bring the top shooters in the country and do our best to show them how lasers can make them better shooters, more accurate shooters, faster shooters, and more confident.
Okay, well, I told you before we went on the air, I had an interesting conversation with Mark Hanisch, top 3-gun shooter, not a Crimson Trace guy. He's not sponsored by you. I'm just having a conversation with him. And it's very interesting. Of course, he, as you said, like everybody else here, they're motivated by speed. Speed. That's what they do. He said, I shoot faster with a laser than I do with iron sights in the daytime. He said, it is so fast.
That's a powerful statement.
It's incredible. And for him and you could tell he was surprised by it. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, with the AR, he says, I don't even put it to my shoulder. I literally put the laser on. And we're not talking about at 10 feet. We're talking about 100 yards.
Yeah.
You put the laser on, you pull the trigger, the bullet goes to the laser dot, and you move on to the next target.
That's a fascinating comment coming from, he's in the top 20
in the country,
fastest, best 3-gunners in the country.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me for 2 reasons. First and foremost, everyone needs to know that at Crimson Trace, yes, we are a laser sighting system company, and we're proud to be the leader in the industry. However, or in addition to, we believe strongly, and we preach every single day, basics. Learn how to shoot your firearm. Front sight.
With the sights that are on it, iron sights, optic sight, whatever. Learn how to operate all of that stuff.
Yep, it's no different than driving a car. Steering wheel, brake, accelerator. Learn the rules of the road. Learn the basics, and then if you want to jack up your tires, if you want to add engine modifications, please do. But when it comes to firearms, we preach learn the basics.
Except that, and I really think this is the huge value of this event. People have played with lasers. They use them in the store. They may even have them on their gun, and they say, well, I'll use this, and they may shine it around, inside somewhere. Mm-hmm. But they don't go out and actually shoot with them very much. I mean, a few people do. But, we're talking about going out where it's really dark, where you really can't see much, where you have a flashlight and a laser. Mm-hmm. And the flashlight, and that's one of the things they found out here, is a 100-lumen flashlight is great inside your house. Mm-hmm. Out in the high desert here, you might as well be holding a candle.
Correct.
Out there. You need light.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's just because of the environment. Inside a room or something, 100 lumens would be fine.
Yeah.
But what people are discovering is not just that it's helpful, is that it's a game changer completely in terms of speed, accuracy, and moving from target to target. You are able, and here's the key, I guess we have to explain this. You don't have to shift your focus from the target to the sight, from the target to the sight. You just keep your focus on the target, put the dot on it, shoot, and move to the next target.
Absolutely.
That's the real takeaway from
it. It is, and we're not a 3-gun company. We don't.
Which makes people, they keep asking you, why'd you do this?
Why'd you do this? So, circling back to your original question. We make laser sighting systems for personal protection firearms.
Right.
Okay? That's what we do. That's what we preach. That's why we get up every morning. The whole idea behind this event was and is, if we can show people like Mark, people like Daniel Horner, Kalani Laker, truly
the top shooters
in the world.
Yes.
Jerry Michlik, as another example. If we can show them how much better, more accurate, and faster that they can be with laser sighting systems, that translates into personal protection. So,
absolutely.
And so that's the main motivation of this event, and for doing it at night, because, to your point, we all go to the range. And when do we go? We go at lunchtime. We go on the weekends. We go
into indoor lighted range.
Right. But we don't do it in low light situations, let alone at night. And the statistics show well over 80% of we want to call them incidences happen in low light situations.
All right. Let me put the fine point on this. Is that for this event, speed is points.
Yes.
For real life, speed is life.
You got it.
Being faster by a tenth of a second could win you a trophy or a gun here. Being faster by a tenth of a second when you're attacked can mean your life. And we are seeing many, many instances of multiple attackers now.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I'm seeing, is the ability to move from one to another so fast with the laser. I mean, and I don't care who you are, whether you're the top shooters or just guys who came over to shoot this and say this would be fun, they're all moving at blazing speed when they shift from target to target with the laser.
Yeah, and to your point, if you can just focus on your target,
right?
For this week, it's a steel plate,
right?
Maybe some Friday night for someone who's listening, it's not a steel plate.
And you need to be looking at the target because you need to be identifying, is it a threat? What's going on with the hands? You don't need to be shifting your focus back and forth. You need to be focused out there where the threat is.
And, I know not everyone can see this event, but if you watch a 3-gun match, no one's shooting from a stationary Weaver stance.
No, we're moving and shooting.
Yes, and you mentioned it before we went on the air. The ability to shoot in awkward shooting positions, or to shoot on the move, or to have the firearm braced down in your abdomen with your elbows on your torso. I mean, and still be as accurate, if not more so.
If not more so.
Right.
Yep. So exactly. All right, Kent, it's a great event, a 3-gun midnight. You're going to be doing it next year?
Can we talk about that on Monday after we get more than 3 hours of sleep a night?
You created a monster. You can't stop now. People are asking you every day, when are we going to do it next year? What's the time there? I got to put it on my calendar, right?
Yeah, it's funny. We the very first year we did it, we had to beg people to come. We had 8 sponsors. Last night, when we had the shooters meeting and dinner, there were well over 350 people in the tent. We have over 40 sponsors, and it's a little overwhelming, and yet I'm very proud of this event, so thank you.
It's outstanding. Look, thank you so much. We're going to have you back on here at the end of the show today to do a little wrap-up and kind of catch up.
I'm going to go take a nap, and then I'll come back.
All right. Kent Thomas from Crimson Trace, thank you so much. All right, we'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Everyone talks about heroes, people who do amazing things in extraordinary situations. Well, I'm no hero. I'm just a guy who wants to protect his family, to keep them safe the best I can. It's my duty as a husband, as a father, and I won't ever let them down.
Introducing the Carry On series from Taurus, the ultimate collection of concealed carry firearms designed for discreet, reliable personal protection. Visit TaurusUSA.com to learn more.
Carry on.
Want to win a gun? Well, Springfield Armory has a great promotion going. They're giving away a bunch of guns and thousands of hot swag items like range bags, shirts, hats, and other great stuff. Vote for your favorite gun. The grand prize is a personal training session with 5-time world champion Rob Latham. Go to duel.springfield-armory.com. That's duel.springfield-armory.com. duel.springfield-armory.com.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, welcome back. We are at the Crimson Trace 3-Gun Midnight Insano event out here in the high desert of Oregon. It is it's so much fun, you can't believe it. Of course, now, if you have been watching on Gun Talk TV, of course, we've covered this for the last couple of years. Been doing a little shooting video out here and get a little bit for next year. You'll be able to catch that. But if you want to see what it's all about, go to our YouTube channel. Just look for Gun Talk Media there, and you can see past shows we've done on the 3-Gun Midnight. It's fun. It's crazy. And we've got a lot of companies involved helping out, sponsoring it, because trust me, this is a very expensive event to put on. If you walked around this place, you'd go, oh, somebody spent some dollars on this deal. So we have a lot of companies that have helped out, and one of those is the folks at Danner Boots, and joining us right now to kind of explain what they're up to is Lindsay Sandor. Hey, Lindsay, how you doing?
Hi, great. How are you?
Excellent. I guess the first question is, I know that we just had Kent Thomas on. He said he wanted to showcase a lot of the Pacific Northwest, especially the Oregon companies, and Danner is an Oregon company.
Yes, we are in Portland, Oregon. We've got both our corporate office and our factory right there in Portland as well.
So are you actually making boots right there?
Oh, yes, we are. We've been making boots in the Portland area since about 1936. That's been around for a while.
You know, these days when it's kind of hard to find, or really anything to wear that's made in the U.S., that's refreshing.
Yes. Yeah, we take a lot of great pride in that. And we've been, like I said, we've had our factory there for a while. And a few years ago, we moved into a brand new facility in Portland, and it just gave us the capacity to build more, also the opportunity to kind of experiment with different construction styles, just to continue to make more great product.
So tell me, what's going on in the world of footwear? I know that technology affects everything. I'm guessing that it does what you guys are doing also.
Oh, yes. Everything from materials to how you put a boot together. And that's evolving with the needs that are out there in the world, whether it's, in the law enforcement and military, to even these great events that we're now part of with 3-Gun, of just needing great, lightweight, but rugged and durable footwear. You need to have good protection under your feet in order to do what you need to, with whatever that is.
Well, you need a stable platform. You've got to be able to move fast. And, of course, up here everybody thought they were going to be out in the dust and the desert. And then the last few days it was raining and nasty, and that's just so weird for the desert. So now you got to have waterproof boots, too. I know that for the longest time, Gore-Tex was the deal. Is Gore-Tex still a big deal in footwear?
Yes, we've been working with Gore-Tex for a lot of years. In fact, we worked with them to develop the first kind of we call a bootie that goes into your boot, and that's what keeps your foot dry and protected from the elements. So we've been working with them a lot of years, and we continue to do so, and we're really proud of that partnership.
What should people look for when they're trying to buy a hunting boot, a boot for a competition, for whatever? What's the primary thing that people ought to be getting? Because, you end up spending a good bit of money on a boot. You ought to get one that works for you.
Yes. I think a lot of factors go into when you, are thinking about and then ultimately selecting the right boot. You need to know what you're going to be using it for, what the environment is, and also your own kind of personal needs. Are you going to be lugging around a heavy pack all day, or do you need something where you're going to be fast and mobile, and so you really want something that's lightweight underfoot? I think that's really important before you even go to the store and go try things on, and then that's the next step is putting the boot on. How does it feel underfoot? Because if it's not comfortable there in the store, it's going to be even worse when you get out there in real life.
It doesn't get better. That's right. It's certainly they break in a little bit, but you're right. If you're going to be carrying an 80-pound pack, you need something that gives you plenty of support versus if you're just going to be running around the shooting range for an hour or so.
Definitely.
Now, I noticed that one of the boots I'm seeing out there is kind of for lack of a better term, like a desert boot like you'd expect to see in Desert Storm or over in Iraq, Afghanistan. But a lot of people wearing these. And the thing that got my attention when I picked one up is how unbelievably lightweight they are. That seems to be a real trend in boots, the weight.
Yes, we've got styles that we've had available for years now that a lot of people would consider quite heavy, but they suit a certain purpose and a certain consumer that wants it underfoot. But I would definitely agree with you. The trend is getting lighter and lighter, and we're hearing that. And probably one of the boots you're seeing there on the range is called the Tanicus. We've got a lot of people wearing it on site. It's a lighter weight platform. It's new for this year, but again, gives the person a good quality, durable boot underfoot, but it's a lot lighter in weight for a Danner boot especially.
Cool. Lindsay, how can people find out more about Danner?
Go to Danner.com. That is the best way. You can also get a hold of our customer service. We've got a great team there that can help you figure out what's the right boot for you, and just a great team there that really loves working with our consumers and taking care of people.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Danner.com. Lindsay, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Tom. Have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, before we have to get out of here for the break for the bottom of the hour, I got to tell you, I mentioned that we had the billboard campaign for Shanine Allen, the mother of two who was arrested in New Jersey. She had a carry permit in Pennsylvania, drove across the line, got a traffic stop, and volunteered to the officers to have got my permit, just like she was told to do in her class. She just didn't know her permit wasn't good in New Jersey. Well, normally you'd say, okay, well, that's fine. We'll give her a fine or something. Oh, no. The district attorney, let's see, she spent 40 days in jail. Now he wants to put her in prison for 3.5 years to 10 years, depending on how much he can get. So I said, hey, let's put up some billboards and shine the light of public scrutiny on this. And it was just an idea I had a week ago. And in the meantime, all of you guys started sending me emails. Hey, I'm in for 10. I'm in for 20. I'm in for $50. I'll help out. I'll do whatever I can. I didn't have anything going, but we put it together. I called Frank Flamingo over at the New Jersey Second Amendment Society and Alan Gottlieb, and we put this thing together. You can make a contribution right now to this. If you go to the Second Amendment Foundation's website, saf.org, it's saf.org, click on the donate button, put however much you want to put in there, and then in the comments, just put New Jersey, the NJ Billboard Project, NJ Billboard Project, and we're going to fund this thing. This is going to happen. I have already primed the pump with a pretty significant contribution to get this thing going. So we're going to have a billboard of this beautiful lady and her two sons with a message to the district attorney basically saying he wants to put her in jail for 10 years for a paperwork violation. Ask District Attorney Jim McLean why. If you'd like to get involved in that and help out, go to saf.org, click on Donate. In the comment section, just put NJ Billboard Project. That'll work for you. All right, don't go far. Gun Talk is coming right back.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately? You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. I tell you what, we are having a ball. We're out in Oregon at the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun. Yes, shooting in the dark, having a ball. Talking with some of the different companies that make stuff for shooting in the dark and other things. And one of the companies that has a very big presence here is FLIR. Joining us right now is Angelo Brewer from FLIR. Now, Angelo, I don't know what you guys say now. I know originally FLIR was forward-looking infrared radar, if I remember right.
Actually, no radar.
Not radar.
That's one of the biggest misconceptions that we run into. Forward-looking infrared, and forward-looking was a type
just infrared. IR is the infrared. Yeah. Okay.
So forward-looking was a type of array that was used in the early sensors.
Right.
And we kind of coined the term and trademarked it, and now we're the Kleenex of the thermal world. So it's not always a FLIR.
So just because it's thermal doesn't mean it's FLIR.
Not exactly, no.
All right. And so infrared is that version, part of the light spectrum that's invisible to us. It really gets down into the heat area, right?
Correct, yeah. Infrared basically is everything below red in the electromagnetic spectrum. So it can be anything from 1066, where a lot of the night vision lasers work at, out to long-wave infrared. So anything longer than visible.
All right, so when you use FLIR, when you use infrared, what do you see?
You're seeing radiation being emitted from all objects on the Earth. So whether it's a human being or an ice cube, everything on Earth has heat. gives off that heat in the form of radiation. We pick it up and turn it into an image.
And now the image can be like this weird colored stuff that we've seen, so, I mean, we've used this stuff for hog hunting at night. It's amazing. But one of the misconceptions I think people have, and we'll talk about the Midnight 3-gun and what you guys are doing there, but I think people don't understand that this is not just a nighttime technology.
No, definitely. During the day, a lot of animals, per se, will try to use their natural camouflage to hide their heat. Mm-hmm. And what happens with our eyes and through a traditional day scope, sometimes we don't have enough contrast in a scene. And so when you start looking at heat alone, animals can't hide that heat. Leaky roofs, things like that will have a heat delta that maybe visibly you can't see, so thermal will pick that up.
And I know they use them when they're trying to find leaks in windows. You're going to be caulking around your house, that type of thing. So there's all sorts of uses for looking for infrared. But for us, you talked about seeing an animal in the daytime. I want people to understand that there may be an animal that's actually behind leaves and you just can't quite make them out. But with FLIR, I mean, it just, in the middle of the day, it just stands out. The image looks just like it would if you were looking at them at night.
Yeah, day or night, we're going to get generally the same image. And one of the things that is the most beneficial, in the outdoor world is you're trying to recover an animal during the day. So a bow hunter takes a shot.
I was going to ask you about that. Could you find a downed animal with
Definitely.
this?
And a lot of times, instead of having to trail, if you get a shot where the animal runs off in light to medium, forest,
Mm-hmm.
they might run 100, 150 yards. A lot of times you could sit right there in the stand, scan, find the animal, and walk right to it rather than having to try to search for it and spend hours. Or, if you get shot in the last half hour of legal light, and you got to go out and stalk and find the animal in the nighttime.
Rather than going around with a flashlight trying to find it, with this thing, you just scan out there and go, yeah, there it is. I can actually see this thermal image of this animal laying out there. You just go right to it.
Yep, get you back to camp sooner.
So what are you guys doing here at the Midnight 3-gun?
We're showing off our new Thermosight R-Series. That's a rifle scope that we launched at SHOT Show. So we tried to take a lot of what we learned from the military and consumer markets and merge that into a product that was affordable. We want to see thermal everywhere, every hunter.
Because that's been a big deal. Thermal is very expensive.
It historically has been, and it's still more than most things that a hunter would use. But we've definitely come down a long way. We've got the price down to $3,499.
Because we were looking at $10,000 for stuff in the past. So
definitely,
it's a huge drop.
Yeah, when I started with the company 8 years ago, we had a thermal rifle scope that was $15,000, and it's pale in comparison to what we have now for less than that. So
really, what we have now for less is actually better than what you had then?
Much better, yeah. It's kind of like GPS. 15, 20 years ago, it was very big, very expensive, and now it's in your phone.
And it's all computers in there anyway. So
it's all digital, yeah.
It is. So this is a rifle scope.
Correct.
Trying to think about the application. I mean, the one that really comes to mind is so many people are hunting hogs at night. That's got to be the number one thing that people are talking about.
That is the number one thing. Nuisance species, hogs, it is probably what 95% of the people are using this for. They make great targets. They're destructive. You can hunt them 24 hours a day.
Yeah, lots of them.
Lots of them, and about anything's legal. Helicopters and machine guns and thermal, and you're good to go.
That's a pretty good evening out there. There you go. Helicopters, machine guns, and thermal imaging. We're having fun now, by golly.
Yeah, we are.
All right, but I got to ask you about one of the cooler things I've ever seen. If you've got a doohickey, it's not an app. It is actually an attachment for an iPhone now.
Yeah, we have the FLIR one, and we just recently started shipping that, and I believe it's technically called an accessory in the Apple world. So it's an app and an accessory rolled into one.
Okay.
What it is it's a sled for your iPhone, so your phone can snap onto the FLIR one.
Right.
And what it does is turn your iPhone 5 or 5S into a thermal camera, and you've got it in the palm of your hands. Walk around and look at your house, find your animal, your dog if it runs off. Basically, anything you can always, wanted to see.
And it's real FLIR. It's actually
FLIR inside. Yes, it's a FLIR thermal sensor, and uses your phone to display the image.
Could you use the camera in the phone to shoot pictures or video with this thing?
We'll do pictures and video, and we also have a couple of panorama type applications, so you can do a thermal panorama. Stores both a visible and a thermal image in the camera, and you can change the color palettes, measure temperature.
That's crazy.
It's you got predator power in the palm of your hand now.
It is. It's like a Predator, like the movie Predator.
It is.
All right, now, and the crazy part to me was the price you brought it in at.
Yeah, $349. It's where we thought we needed to be, and again, our goal is to have thermal everywhere. So, what better way to make it affordable and on your phone?
For those of us who are techno addicts, $350 is impulse buy.
It is. Yeah, I have two, so you know.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So you add it on to your iPhone. You have true thermal imaging. How are people using that on the iPhone now? What are people doing with it?
People have found all kinds of uses. It's kind of one of those technologies that, I could sit here and make a list of what you could use it for, but the minute you put it in somebody's hand, they're going to find a new use. So my use this week has been finding my brass. It's a great way.
Oh, hot brass laying on the ground.
We're out here. There's a busy range. I want my brass back. I look over, and I can pick up the hot brass and let the other brass sit there that I don't know where it came from.
But wait. Because I'm out shooting where I shoot. It's gravel where we're shooting. Mm-hmm. It's hard to see brass in the daytime out there.
Yep.
You could use this to find brass in the daytime out.
I've recovered every piece of brass that I wanted to pick up this week.
You just paid for the unit right there.
It can happen quickly.
That's amazing. What a great idea.
Yeah, and on a more practical standpoint, my wife's a real estate agent, so when she goes into a house with clients, she can quickly scan, see, hey, these windows are really leaky, that door's drafty, that heated floor has got a fault. It only heats half the floor in the bathroom. So those are the practical uses that can save you a lot of money really quick.
But we don't really care about the practical.
No, we're here for fun.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to get this thing, and it's kind of like, dude, you've got to check this out.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
That's what it's really all about.
Yep.
All right. So FLIR, for people to find information, I know you got a website.
Yep, FLIR.com.
FLIR.
Pretty straightforward, FLIR.com. FLIR.com/thermosite is going to get you to the thermal weapon site we talked about.
Thermo with an O?
THERMO. And FLIR.com/FLIR1 will get you to the iPhone accessory.
Okay. Of course, you can just go to FLIR.com and you can find all of them right there.
We got all kinds of good stuff to look at there.
Cool. Can't wait to play with some of that stuff tonight when it gets dark.
Definitely. We'll have some fun with it.
Thanks, Angelo. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more gun talk.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
Have you ever held a Walther? Walther handguns are an extension of your hand. From the moment you hold the ergonomic grip of a Walther, you feel the difference. Today, Walther continues its long tradition of expertise in firearm design with the introduction of 3 incredible new handguns. The smooth PPQ-M2, the tough PPX, and the cool PPKS-22. Log on now at WaltherArms.com. Walther at your favorite retailer.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Brownells proudly celebrates 75 years of history and heritage as the world's first choice for firearms, accessories, ammunition, and gunsmithing tools. So whether you're a gunsmith in need of parts and supplies, a new shooter looking for the perfect holster, or a skilled competitor seeking the latest gear, Brownells has what you need. And best of all, every purchase comes with the industry's only forever satisfaction guarantee. Visit us at Brownells.com.
Thanks for being one of the 100 million gun owners in America who support Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Even if you don't want to be on the air, you can still email Tom with your questions or concerns at tom@guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, back at it. We are still out here in Bend, Oregon, and we're visiting with some of the people from the various companies that are exhibiting, helping out, providing some products. Basically, I think it's a scam. They just come out and have a good time. Matt Rice is joining us now from Smith & Wesson. Matt being the king of scams. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you, Tom?
I am good. It's, not that that's a bad thing, you understand.
I understand completely.
So what's Smith & Wesson doing out here at this thing?
Well, of course, Tom, as you mentioned, we're out here to support the third time we've done the 3-Gun National. The first time that Smith has actually came on board as a full match sponsor. So obviously we've got some pro shooters out here. The whole Micklick family is part of Team Smith & Wesson.
They drove out here from Louisiana.
That's a heck of a drive for those.
Yeah, Elena said, we're going to see how well this family will hold together on this drive.
I can imagine that's probably some good stories in that car on the way up
Don't you
there.
know? I mean,
you think they talk about guns the whole time, or do you think they talk about anything else?
Actually, it's funny
guns?
you mentioned. I was actually wondering about that. You got Kay Clark Mitchell, you got Jerry Mitchell, you got Lena, who is like this incredibly great young shooter. I'd say she's not even a youth shooter anymore. She's just a young lady shooter now. And do they talk guns? Do they ignore the topic? They don't ignore it. That's what they're talking about.
They have to be. It's ingrained in that family, and that's the way they all live. That's what they love to do. That's their passion.
Wouldn't you love to have a bug in there so you could listen in? We could all get tips from him.
If you ever listen to Jerry talk, he is just humor wrapped up into that Louisiana package, and he's got that good old Southern boy draw, and he's just a lot the fun to be around.
Yeah, and
Kay and Lena in the same thing.
And he can shoot pretty well too.
Yeah, he can. He can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So what are they doing? What are they shooting here?
Jerry runs an M&P 15. He runs one of the Performance Center models that he's kind of custom fit, and both Lena and them are both running M&P 15 rifles. Jerry's also been making a big transition from the wheel gun over to the M&P pistol as of late. He's shooting a lot more matches with the M&P. Pretty much everybody thinks that Jerry is strictly a revolver guy, but
he can shoot anything.
He can, and as he's been branching out and getting more involved in different competitions, the M&P has been right on his side the whole time. So it's good to have them out there using the products, and people can see them in the hands of the pros, and that makes a big difference.
Well, and there's been a bit of an evolution with the M&P also. The pistol, originally it was brought out just as a self-defense and a duty gun. Now, that's what it was.
Correct.
And then people figured out, well, this thing actually shoots pretty well. And, of course, competitors being competitors, then they start taking them apart, swapping things out, honing things, doing things, and then they're talking to the Performance Center, what could you guys do to it? And then they go, actually, this thing shoots real well.
Shoots real well. Yeah, it's been nice watching the progression of the M&P as it came along. As you mentioned, back in 2005 when it was introduced, it was squarely looking at that law enforcement market. That was the number one, is to help the Smith & Wesson get back in that polymer pistol race. Then as it began, we started seeing rifle generations. We started seeing competition guns. Then as of late, the new core pistol, easily able to mount the red dot of your choice.
Right.
We worked with our good friends over here at Leupold, and when the media session was going on, they had the nice Leupold Delta Point on there, and you really got to see how effective that platform can be in a competition like this, especially when the lights go out or at any time. It just really helps hone those basic pistol skills.
Exactly. And one of the things I think people don't fully appreciate, because they think of duty gun as, it shoots well enough. You could take a stock M&P pistol, and if you go throw it into a vise, you'd be shocked at how accurate they are out of the box.
You really would. Those guns, everything about that gun is pretty much made entirely in that plant at Smith & Wesson. So they have the ability to run down the engineers. If something goes askew and out the whole development process, it really helps sped everything up. And then they've been building guns there for 150-plus years, so they know how to get the job done when it comes to building guns.
When I was going through the plant, one of the things that got my attention is they said, the barrels, we used to make matched barrels. We don't even make matched barrels anymore because the barrels we make on the CNC machines for our standard guns outshoot our old match barrels. Hey, Matt, don't go anywhere here. I'll take a quick break here. We'll come back.
Good.
We're talking with Matt Rice from Smith & Wesson. Also got a great lineup of people here with the Crimson Trace Midnight 3-Gun. Don't forget, by the way, to go over to the Second Amendment Foundation's website, saf.org. You can make a contribution, donate to this New Jersey billboard campaign that we got cranked up. It's important. Just put the NJ Billboard Project in the comment box, and that'll get your money going to where it needs to go. All right, I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk, and we are in Oregon.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
We're back with you. We are out here in Oregon talking with Matt Rice from Smith & Wesson. Matt, you got some new products you want to make sure you get in because some of these are brand spanking new.
They are. One of the things that we're happy to be out here with Crimson Trace is just a couple of weeks ago, we reintroduced the bodyguards, both the 380 compact pistol and the 38 revolver. Mm-hmm. The first generation guns were built with an integral laser from Insight. Mm-hmm. There were some issues with that. Well, we were very straightforward in understanding the consumer feedback on that. So we went to what we think is a better platform, and that is going to Crimson Trace. So it's the same basic gun. The dimensions are going to remain the same. So any of your existing holsters or accessories that you had out there are still going to operate on these two new guns. But with the CT laser, you have a much better instinctive activation. Mm-hmm. Everything just syncs up a lot better. And we saw that out here at the range when people were shooting them.
Crimson Trace just knows lasers.
They do. They do. And they've got the name in the market, and people trust it. And so blending those two companies has been a big hit.
Okay. The other thing is the one that I have been biting my tongue about because we've had this thing for like several months and with an agreement that we couldn't talk about it. Now we can talk about it.
We can talk about it. Yeah, those NDAs kind of scare people.
Yeah,
they
no
get,
kidding.
They get a little tight-lipped after a while.
We've got an M&P pistol, but the 22 in the compact version.
Compact. M&P 22 compact. A lot of your listeners probably realize that we had a full-size, or we still do, a full-size M&P 22 long rifle made by Walther in Germany through our partnership. Well, we wanted to scale down that existing version, make it a more tactical pistol for the guy who's wants to train a little bit more, the recreational shooter. So now we have the M&P 22 compact. It's basically a 15% reduction off of your basic M&P 9 or M&P 40. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a baby shield. It's a 22 shield is what it is.
Really what it is.
So it's dramatically thin. You're about an inch and a half all the way around, 3.56-inch barrel, and it just has that feel of an M&P true and true, and it's just a lot of fun to shoot.
There are actually three things I'm thinking of. One, it's a smaller pistol in your hand. It'd be great for youngsters getting them started shooting.
Exactly.
Two is that it's obviously a great training device. If you have a full-size M&P, you want to go shoot 22s. But the third thing, and I don't want us to overlook this possibility, for a lot of people who are very recoil sensitive, this may be their self-defense gun.
It very well may. I mean, we get that question a lot. I'm sure you do too. Is a 22 a viable self-defense pistol? And if you can hit accurately with it, it's better than not having anything at all.
I would prefer not to be shot with one.
I would definitely. And when you can put 10 rounds and put them on target and where you're aiming, I don't want to be in front of that.
And for people who have trouble working the slide because they have a stronger spring, anybody can pull the slide back on this thing.
They can. And you have that nice manual safety, so it's on safety. It's got the drop safety on it like the other M&Ps, so it's completely designed all the way around to be, as you point out, not only a self-defense option, but a good trainer, a good basic compact.
So what's the availability?
Right now, one of the things that we've traded up at Smith & Wesson is we're not introducing anything until there are guns in the vault ready to ship. So before we release something, the distributors, they already have them, and then all the retailers have to do is place an order, and it's there. So these guns are out, accessories are out for them, so there's no more waiting around another 6 months, 8 months after we introduce something. We're going to make it available to consumers right at the time.
I don't put you on the spot. You may not even know. Do you know what the MSRP is?
$389 is what Smith's suggested retail. So,
okay, and it'll go for under that.
Yeah, you know how that works. In the real world, we see a little bit of a downcrease in the price.
Sure.
So
that's fabulous. I mean, it's a
have
a
you
real
shot
nice
it, Tom? You mentioned you had it.
It has a great trigger too.
It does
have the other part I was going to mention. I mean, you guys have done such a great job over the years of better triggers. I mean, they're all good now. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. We talked to a minute ago. 150 plus years of making guns. They know how to do it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Got it figured out. All right, so you got the M&P 22 Compact. You got the new CT version of the Bodyguards.
And we've got some stuff on the way that I can't talk about unless you've got another NDA you want to sign.
Always got one in my pocket ready to go. Thanks a bunch, Matt.
Thank you, Tom.
And obviously, if you want more information, go to the Smith & Wesson website, which I go to actually fairly regularly. Right? Why wouldn't you? All right, don't go far. When we come back, we got more gun talk from the Midnight 3 Gun. We're talking scopes, knives, holsters, all sorts of stuff. You don't want to miss it.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.